Recently, I made a video talking about making thumbnail sketches for your artworks, and I went into it super stiff without even warming up. Not to mention, I wasn't open to changing my concept. All I was open to was changing the poses and gestures of the subjects within it. That's no good. My bravado strikes again. After showing the rough cut of the video to a few people, a common criticism arose, and I can boil it down to this. People were like, that's cool. The painting that inspired you to make this thing is super dynamic. That's an emotional blow. But instead of sulking and feeling bad for myself, I instead started to conceptualize in my mind, to analyze the piece that inspired me and to analyze my own concept. And when I awoke the next day, I got it. Thumbnailing your artwork, part 2. I'm Charles Hancock, and this is Charles Hancock Creations. The whole next day, I searingly analyzed the picture that had inspired me. I thought about the foundational tenets of any drawing and began to ask myself questions about those foundational elements while reviewing the piece. If I can look at the artwork and ask myself the who, what, when, where, how, and whys of it, I can come to understand more the concept that built it. I retired my preconceived idea and had to open up myself to other options. I also had to think about my composition and what I could actually change to keep the story intact and to show what I was trying to show. But at night, as I laid my head on my pillow, I lacked confidence in what I was going to do and in the concept that I had. When I awoke the next day, it was as if I had been running through the concept in my dreams and in my sleep. And I could now see a composition that I was excited about, and I could see it clearly. But I couldn't just jump in with both feet again. I had to ask myself those same foundational element questions about my own concept. And after dwelling on it for another day, I had regained my confidence. But it was time to put pencil to paper and challenge the concept. I like a ton of the things about this idea, but if I just adjust the perspective a bit, say I take this corner and move it back, or this corner here and do the same, then these three guys would be forced forward in perspective towards you. It's time I embark on a voyage of discovery. After moving these three guys to the foreground, shifting the observer's perspective, I set about to finish two very loose thumbnails for clarity and warming up. And again, I keep what I like. Now take note that some gestures have mildly changed and others not at all. This composition places the viewer in the action, making them feel a first-person illusion. I feel solid on this foundation. The composition is way more electric. The gestures are organic, aiding my triangular composition. I'm approaching the image from a different perspective and allowing the environment to almost envelop the viewer.
It really pumps up the dynamism.
Although the subject is ultimately the same guy. This structure makes sense to me. A solid base. It's sturdy. Really, that's the reason for thumbnailing. If I wasn't going to change things to try to figure out better composition and better gestures, then what am I doing? The idea is to do all of that groundwork like I mentioned in the first video. Good artwork takes work. Now, if everything works out the way I think it will, I'll move on to my final sketch. But otherwise, why do this? Why waste my time sketching out the same picture? Why do it
over and over and over again
if I already have an idea of what I'm moving forward with? Because it makes a difference. It loosens me up. It helps me really envision the shapes, the forms, the angles, the colors I might use, and definitely the values. And I think it looks pretty good. He's a good looking dude. I like the way he's dancing. I could put an instrument in this hand or in this hand. I can emphasize his regalia, and it still gives me the upward angle I was looking for. I could even make him a little smaller if need be and make him look a little further behind. We don't want him stepping on this guy, so I probably would make him a little smaller. That being said, I like this mock-up. Now, I know some of you are going to be asking, why not zoom in closer on the faces of the subjects, or why not show it from above so you can see everybody from above? And I really think if you look at these smaller thumbnails here that I sketched out, of course they're not complete, but I wanted to show what that would do to distort the perspective. And I feel like the one on the left, you would be prone on the ground. And in the second one, you would be up in the air, and that would be a bit weird. Why would you be in those positions? I think it actually removes the viewer from feeling like they're part of something. By placing the perspective where I did, it's almost as if they are a viewer, kind of back and away, but viewing it, almost voyeuristically. It gives the viewer a perspective as if they are sitting there in the dark, observing what's going on. And when I woke up the other day, I knew it. I knew this perspective, this format, this composition was what I was looking for. Who knows? I'm really excited about getting this down on paper. So in the future, keep your eyes peeled. There will most likely be a video where I'm actually starting the application of the colored pencil process. Building thumbnails like this is very interesting. It helps you weed out the things you like from the things that you don't like. It helps you refine your sketch. It helps you also get a feeling for the motions that you might be in when producing the actual work. I believe that if you take these steps, if you work on thumbnails of your artwork before you actually get into the process of making them, if you draw out your thumbnails, if you try designing your things very loosely even, if you go through all the asking yourself the right questions and trying to attempt to find the best gestures, the best story, the best composition to bring an actualization of your idea into the world, that it will greatly benefit you. It has greatly benefited me. As I'm doing this final sketch, this doesn't have to be super defined. We're just getting the impressions here. Some of the distance between the subjects may change in the final piece, but I want to nail down the important parts and still yet allow myself the room to explore while creating this final work. And before I show you these final shots, I just want to invite you to check me out on my other social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Consider subscribing to the channel if you found any value in this or you find my videos interesting. I'm always accepting to grow the community, and I'd love to hear from you. If there's anything you'd like to see me do a video on or anything you'd like to see me draw, why don't you just shoot me a comment down below underneath the video. I love to see comments. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'm gonna get out of here. Remember, life is what you create. So create something awesome. Leave me a comment and tell me which one you like better. Sketch 1 or sketch 2? Now enjoy these final shots. Thank you again for stopping by. I hope you learned something. I'm going to leave you a couple videos here. Some people only give you one option. I give you two options. I'm out.